What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the Samurai Sports Network, and today we're going to be talking about one thing and one thing in specific. I got a haircut. I look more professional now, don't I? Or at least not like a bum or like an idiot or whatever you want to call me. But I got a haircut. I made my Tannehill. I made my bed. There's laundry this way, but that's not really laundry. It's just a towel. But regardless of that, what is going on, guys? So today, it's been a nice day, but we're going to talk about the Jarvis Landry situation. I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of an intro into that video. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the Jarvis Landry situation with the Miami Dolphins. Now, we talked about it and we said what is really going on. If I want to, I'll read the actual, I guess, title. If you want to go check it out, you can. It probably just be an extension of this video. But yeah, it's about 5 minutes long, just around. It's what is going on with Jarvis Landry and the Miami Dolphins. And look, this video has a statement at the beginning of it, and that's probably why you clicked on it. And the statement is pretty simple. The Miami Dolphins and Jarvis Landry should part ways. And, you know, it sounds a little off at first because in your mind you're thinking, why would they part ways with one of their most productive offensive players? There's a lot of reasons. And in that video, I gave some reasons. I said, and I'm going to be talking about it in this video, obviously, but in that video, I gave some reasons, and I'll go over them right now with you again. The main reason that I had in that one was that Jarvis Landry does run the wrong route sometimes. You can see it even to the blind football eye. If you don't know the play, you can tell his routes are a little sloppy. Is it all the time? No, not at all. I mean, he's a Pro Bowl receiver. He's not going to get in by running sloppy routes 24/7. There's times where he does, but there's times where obviously he is Jarvis Landry. On top of that, there are situations with him and apparently his behavior. There's situations with him and a multitude of things that just kind of don't fit together. And it seems like Adam Gase, he called it the most embarrassing thing that happened all year. And we had an offensive line coach snort cocaine on video for a stripper or an escort or whoever she was. And the whole thing that happened on that Sunday with the Bills was the most embarrassing thing. Now, if you want to talk about on the field, that was probably the most embarrassing thing. And we got blown out by the Ravens on primetime television. But that probably was the most embarrassing thing to happen on the field, besides obviously the blowout all season, in terms of the way that he conducted himself and the way that Kenyan conducted himself. Now, the difference, at least out of what I've heard, I haven't heard anything else. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, by all means, correct me in the comments. But out of what I have heard, it was more so Kenyan Drake who was more apologetic and defending himself in terms of saying that, he was sorry and that he has to do better. I haven't heard that out of Jarvis Landry. Like I said, if there's anything that's out about that I missed that might have gone over my head, please correct me in the comments, because then that whole point right there of him not being sympathetic or whatever, thrown out of the door, right? So there is that. But on top of all of that, he just wants too much money. The way that his guy, Dilbo, whatever the hell his name is, Bilbo Baggins is what they've been calling him on Twitter. But the way that he's been presenting this situation to the public, just like the way that the Dolphins might have possibly shown and said things to Armando Salguero in the way of that, things don't look good for the Dolphins and Jarvis Landry. Now you have allegations that they fed Salguero stuff. At the same time, Salguero most of the time already knows these things, just not even by getting it publicly, like feeding it to him, just by him finding out on his own. So, I mean, he was the first one to report the Jay trade, and usually Shefty's got that wrapped up. Salguero knows, right? And then it's apparently that he wants close to and in between Julio Jones and Antonio Brown money, which to me, that sounds like around $15 million. And look, regardless of if you like Jarvis Landry or not, you should know that Jarvis Landry is not even close to the player that Antonio Brown is. And even with a down year, he is not close to the player that Julio Jones is. Those two, and I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's just something about them I don't like, right? And even with that said, he is the reason why business is booming when business is booming for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Antonio Brown is the best receiver since, in my opinion, because I thought He's the best receiver that we've seen all around since, and in my opinion, Chad Johnson. Because, you know, Calvin was great and all, but the all-around best receiver that we've seen in a while has to be Antonio Brown. In my opinion, it was Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, whatever you want to call him. Shout out to Chad. He destroys people on FIFA on the daily. But yeah, he's probably in my opinion, that guy since Chad Johnson. And Jarvis isn't that. Regardless of whatever, you know, oh, they said he has to score more touchdowns and he scored more touchdowns. That's not the point. You know, it's you just aren't that type of receiver. You play better in the slot. You don't play better like on the sidelines like Kenny Stills, and even to an extent like a Devontae Parker, even though he did not have the greatest game, like the greatest year, and even to an extent a 5'7" Jakeem Grant plays better on the outside as an outside receiver than he does. He's a slot guy, and he's not going to, I mean, maybe the Browns will pay him that money, but he's not going to get that money from the Miami Dolphins. And it sucks for him. It really does, because, you know, Jarvis, you know, he's been that team guy, right? But then there was a thought I saw on Twitter, and it was by Matthew Kanata, Finsider Radio, and it made sense to me, and something clicked in my head. The thought was, what if the Dolphins leaked this out to see what his reaction would be? Would he act maturely, publicly, or would they stoop low? And the Dolphins got their answer. Multiple cryptic tweets, his agent commenting on things every day, stooping even lower. Look, I mean, there are Jarvis Landry fans that are turning against Jarvis Landry because of his agent. Not because of, they were all for, you know, Jarvis, whatever. The Dolphins are, you know, trying to feed stuff to Salguero. Now, all the cryptic tweets, now all the stuff coming out from his agent, there are people that were the Landry gang supporters that are going completely off the bandwagon. They are off. They are tired of it. They're done with it. There are some of you on my channel who commented on that video who are done with it. I mean, usually if I say anything like the Dolphins shouldn't sign Jarvis Landry anytime this year, I got dislikes up the bahootie. Like, I got dislikes up, you know, the rear, man. And I would get people that would always constantly tell me I'm wrong, that I'm stupid, everything like that. I had people like, you know, actually, I mean, I probably even checked the comments where not that many people were mad. I mean, people saying, I really like him, but he's not an all-star receiver. Love him, but the price is too much. It's all these other things where it's like, you know, why didn't we already trade him? He wants way too much to stay in Miami. It's situations like that where it's like, okay, look, you know, Jarvis, you've been a team guy. Yeah, you have all these receptions, but look, here are your papers. Goodbye. Like, it's that situation now with Dolphins Twitter, which you didn't see at any point in time during this year. And it sucks because that whole army, the Landry gang, is getting smaller and smaller and smaller the more that Bilbo talks and the more that Jarvis lets him talk, honestly. It sucks. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear your opinion. Please comment down below. Please like the video. I'll have a couple of videos coming out. I'm going to pre-record. But yeah, there's going to be some topic videos and then also announcements of new series. So I hope you guys did very much enjoy this video. I will see you guys next time. And as always, peace.